What is an AI agent? So today I want to touch on a popular topic, AI agents. An agent is basically an intelligent assistant that can work independently. If you recently had to chat in a bank app or Uber app with customer support, you might have noticed that you always start your conversation with AI. Surprise, surprise. So this tool became very popular and it will be only growing. And there is a reason for it. But first, let's talk about what is an AI agent. So the agent actually has two parts, programmed and rule-based part, and an LLM, a large language model. So how does this work? Let's take an example of this chatbot that I mentioned in the beginning. The user asks a question or gives a statement. For example, I need to change an address in my bank account. And this is a task that is very simple, right? So in this case, there is no need to trigger an LLM. The agent is actually programmed to directly send you instructions on how can you do it. So this part of an agent is just a set of predetermined rules of how to act when a person says a specific word or a specific phrase. And this is perfect for simple repetitive tasks. These responses are usually fixed and are perfect for Q&A. Okay, so now let's look at a more complex situation. For example, the user sends a question like, my card got blocked, what is the reason? And here an AI agent will be triggered, an LLM. And this agent will be able to reason before giving the answer. It also can search database to retrieve important information about the client. If the client is speaking in a different language, it actually can trigger an LLM that speaks better in that language. The agent might be able also to search web. So basically, this agent has more resources to improve its answer and have more sources for it. Moreover, this agent can have access to the memory, which means it can look at the history of conversations with this same client. So now my agent can actually access all the relevant information about my client, can access all the relevant information about the account of this client, and this makes the probability of answering correctly very high. So what are the main features of an AI agent? The LLM can now decide how many times to run until it is happy with the answer or the answer is good enough. Now, we as developers do not control anymore how many steps will AI take until it gets to the answer. Another example of use case is coding. My agent now can iterate over the changes in my code. It can also solve the issues in GitHub automatically. And here is where the second feature comes. The agent can act via tools. It can search database or web to use more information. It can use calculator. It can trigger an API, a piece of code, or a different LLM. Another reason why this tool became very popular is because it can adapt and have a personalized way of talking to the user. So the model basically learns how the user communicates, and it will learn to talk in a similar way. And finally, one of the cool features of the agents is that they can actually learn based on reviews and feedback. So it can analyze past interactions and feedbacks from the customers and learn how to act or answer better in the next interaction, in the next chat. Agents are also very cool because they can actually work 24/7. This is why they will be our future and are already our present. Okay, so to summarize, agents are basically tools, systems that receive a query, then they evaluate what else do they need to trigger to answer that query better. For example, different LLM or API or other tools that we talked about. And it collects all the necessary data, thinks about how can it improve its answer, reasons over it, and finally generates the final response with high probability of having a good answer. I suggest we wrap this video up with the Mark Zuckerberg's thoughts about AI agents.
I think we're going to live in a world where there are going to be hundreds of millions and billions of different AI agents, eventually probably more AI agents than there are people in the world. A lot of what we're focused on is giving every creator and every small business the ability to create AI agents for themselves, making it so that every person on our platforms can create their own AI agents that they want to interact with. And if you think about it, these are just huge spaces, right? So there are hundreds of millions of small businesses in the world. And one of the things I think is really important is basically making it so with a relatively small amount of work, a business can basically, a few taps, stand up an AI agent for themselves that can do customer support, sales, communicate with all their people, all their customers. I think that every business in the future, just like they have an email address and a website and a social media presence today, I think every business is going to have an AI agent that their customers can talk to in the future.
So I hope you enjoyed this video and it was useful for you and you learned something new. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!